Alan Ritchson refuses to do the one thing that would do a disservice to Reacher. Alan Ritchson has reignited Jack Reacher's popularity in Amazon Prime's hit series Reacher once again with the third season of the action series based on the books by Lee Child. However, as the latest season came to an end, the actor revealed he is very happy to continue playing the mercenary, but there is one thing he will not do because he feels it would not benefit the character or fans in any way. Since the show's explosive debut in 2022, some fans have questioned whether we will ever see Jack Reacher back on the big screen for the first time since Tom Cruise took on the role in two profitable, but often criticized movies. It seems that Ritchson has a very specific view on the possibility of a Jack Reacher movie, and it isn't good news for those holding out hope for one. Speaking to Men's Journal, Ritchson said, "I can't speak to movies. I enjoy the format that we've got so much, and it works so well where we do a book a season. I think 8 episodes seem to be the perfect amount of time to break out a book. I think it would probably do a disservice to the books. I don't know if I'd fight for films. I like being able to weave in what feels like 2, 3, or 4 films around Reacher throughout the year. I'm happy with the way things are." Before Amazon's Reacher series arrived, Tom Cruise famously embodied the ex-military policeman in 2 feature films. While those entries found box office success, hardcore readers argued that Cruise's 5'7" frame was less than fitting for the character as described by Child in his novels. Ritchson's portrayal, by contrast, restored the towering brawler side of Reacher and has seen the series breaking Prime Video records with every new season. Ritchson's stance on a possible movie outing for his character is probably not surprising. Season 3 concluded with another incredible set of stats and better reviews than Season 2. With Season 4 already set to follow, the actor has found a niche as Reacher that can run for several years and does not need to mess with the format to keep it at the top of its game with dozens of novels to adapt. The series is already branching out with a new spin-off series in the works, focusing on the character of Francis Neagley. If that series can capture the same kind of audience that the flagship has been drawing in, then it is unlikely that Amazon MGM Studios would even be interested in attempting to make the leap to a big screen outing for Jack Reacher when they can command such an audience on Prime Video by keeping him as one of their exclusive shows. When Alan Ritchson first strode onto screens as Jack Reacher in Prime Video's Reacher series, fans of Lee Child's novels let out a collective sigh of relief. Towering, calm, and fiercely intelligent, Ritchson's portrayal immediately resonated with the character they had long pictured in their minds. Yet behind the scenes, Ritchson's commitment to the role is even deeper than it appears, so deep, in fact, that there's one thing he absolutely refuses to do, believing it would do a disservice to both the character and the fans. And that one thing? Watering down Jack Reacher's essence. Staying true to the character. In an era where adaptations often mold book characters to fit trending narratives, Ritchson has taken a rare, almost rebellious stance: fidelity to the source material. He has publicly emphasized that he sees himself not just as an actor playing a part, but as a guardian of Reacher's legacy. In various interviews, Ritchson has pointed out that the temptation in Hollywood is often to soften tough characters to make them more broadly relatable or likable to modern audiences. Maybe Reacher could be shown second-guessing himself more often. Maybe he could be less blunt, less physically intimidating, or more emotionally vulnerable in ways that depart from Lee Child's vision. But for Ritchson, that's exactly the trap he's determined to avoid. "If I start trying to sand off the edges and make Reacher more palatable," he explained in one conversation, "I'm not playing Reacher anymore. I'm playing someone else." To Ritchson, betraying the core of who Reacher is, a stoic, often solitary figure with an unshakable moral code, would not just weaken the show. It would betray the millions of readers who fell in love with the character because he doesn't act like everyone else. The physical commitment, part of that fidelity, comes in physical form. Ritchson famously committed himself to becoming the living embodiment of Reacher's intimidating presence. In Child's novels, Reacher is described as 6'5", 250 pounds of muscle, a man who dominates a room simply by standing in it. Ritchson, who already had a superheroic physique from roles in Titans and Blue Mountain State, took his training to another level for Reacher. He didn't just bulk up, he learned how to move differently, slower, more deliberate, like a predator who has nothing to prove. In interviews, he has recounted the subtle challenges of embodying Reacher's physicality, standing still when most actors would shift nervously, lowering his voice instead of raising it, conveying a threat not through volume but through sheer presence. If Ritchson had opted for a more cinematic version of Reacher, flashier fights, exaggerated emotions, more traditional Hollywood vulnerability, it might have been easier. It might have even won some extra buzz. But it wouldn't have been Reacher. I would be doing a disservice to Reacher if I made him anything other than what he is, an immovable object in a world full of chaos, Ritchson said. Respecting the quiet moments. Another thing Ritchson refuses to compromise on is stillness. In today's fast-paced TV landscape, silence can feel like a risk. Writers, directors, and actors are often pushed to fill every second with quips, exposition, or visual fireworks. But in Reacher, some of the most powerful scenes involve Ritchson simply observing, thinking, waiting. Fans of the books know that Reacher is a man of few words, and when he speaks, it matters. Ritchson has embraced that fully. If the audience is uncomfortable with a little silence, good, he has said. Reacher makes people uncomfortable. He doesn't rush to fill the air because he doesn't need to. By insisting on preserving those quiet moments, Ritchson ensures that the show remains faithful to the slow burn suspense of the novels, where tension often rises not from action but from the threat of action. It's a subtle kind of performance and a risky one. But it's also the kind of choice that shows Ritchson's profound respect for the source material and for viewers who crave something deeper than surface-level thrills. Collaborating with Lee Child. One reason Ritchson feels such a strong duty to stay true to Reacher is the relationship he's built with Lee Child himself. From the start, Child has been closely involved with the series. He even made a brief cameo in the first season, a quiet endorsement that didn't go unnoticed by fans. According to Ritchson, their collaboration isn't just friendly, it's essential. I see Lee as my boss, Ritchson has said bluntly. He created Reacher. My job is to bring that creation to life, not to change it. When discussing major scenes or emotional beats, Ritchson often consults with Child to make sure that the characters' decisions remain authentic. It's a dynamic built not on ego, but on trust that if they honor Reacher's spirit, the audience will come along for the ride. The pressure of fan expectations. Ritchson is acutely aware that Reacher fans aren't casual viewers. They're passionate, detail-oriented, and fiercely protective of the character. This makes every decision, every line delivery, every fight scene a matter of enormous consequence. Some actors might chafe under that kind of scrutiny. Ritchson seems to thrive on it. To me, the fans are the ultimate judges, he said. They know Reacher better than anyone. I'm not trying to impress critics, I'm trying to make fans proud. It's an attitude that's increasingly rare in Hollywood adaptations, where studios often prioritize attracting new audiences over satisfying core fans. But Ritchson's approach, putting authenticity over easy wins, has paid off. Reacher has become one of Prime Video's biggest original series, with rave reviews from both diehard book fans and newcomers alike. Looking ahead, with Reacher already renewed for additional seasons, Ritchson's commitment shows no signs of wavering. In fact, he's made it clear that the bigger,